Jeremy Cook here for Hackster.io. In this video, I'll be unboxing the Blues Cell+WiFi starter kit and demonstrating just how easy it is to get your data to the cloud. So let's get started. All right, let's see what's in this package from Blues. Antenna. I believe this hooks into there, so we'll see how that works out. So I haven't read the directions, but I assume you unscrew this and then pop it in there. So let's just see what happens. Well, that was easy enough. Looks like you've got a bunch of GPIO pins and then some, let's see, V+, VBAT, and then Solar. So that's interesting. And then this board here, and then some other connectors here. I'm guessing you have to hook this up to one of these connectors here, but that I will probably need to look at the directions for. Now it appears these are both quick compatible, so that's kind of nice if you need to expand there. And then this micro USB here, and then micro USB there. And then another connector here, which appears to be a battery connector. So all kinds of stuff to explore with this, and I'll look forward to doing that in this video. All right, I did this off camera, but I plugged the GPS or connected the GPS connector here and the LTE connector here. So this antenna, it's flexible and it actually has it's kind of a dual antenna, I guess, for both GPS and LTE signals. So that's pretty neat. So before we get into this too much, I wanted to define a few things. First of all, this is the Notecard. It's a device-to-cloud data pump. It basically transfers data from the ground, from the device, to the cloud, or the cloud can actually send data to that. It plugs into a standard M2 connector, and it features 500 megabytes of cell data and 10 years of service. So there's no SIM card or other such devices to worry about, or subscriptions, etc. Of course, you do need cell infrastructure, so even though you can communicate from a lot of places, if you want to go truly off-grid, they've got like a LoRaWAN card that you can use, LoRaWAN setup that you can use, or they even have the Star Node, which communicates via satellites. But that's a different thing. For this, pretty cool. This can communicate via Wi-Fi or cellular. Now the Notecarrier is the development board that kind of helps you get started with this. Plugs into that. On top of that, you got the Swan, which is an STM32-based host device. You might call it a dev board / MCU board. You might say the on-the-ground brains of the operation are in this board. So yeah, some might call this a dev board, but I think the definitions get a little bit convoluted here. But anyway, the Notecarrier F is what everything attaches to, including the note card and the Swan. Also, I might want to point out that I got this ST-Link V3 Mini E programmer, which makes it a bit easier to actually program the Swan board. So I'd recommend this to make things easy. If you can pick one up, so you just plug it in here, and yeah, makes things easy to program. Now you can program it with some with a micro USB cable, but you have to worry about some resets and stuff like that. So yeah, I would pick one of these up if you have the opportunity. So the Swan board can send its data to the Note card, and then the Note card can communicate with Blues Note Hub, which is kind of their cloud service, or really it pumps data from this to the Note Hub, and then the Note Hub can transfer your data to other clouds, such as AWS or Azure, I don't know. However you pronounce that, it can pump it to your cloud. So that's awesome. And then the actual data format is called a note, and that's a JSON object containing developer provided content. So that's what goes to from the note card, and it's not a lot of data, so that 500 megabytes can last for a long time if you set things up correctly. Also, you might point out that this has this nice LTE and GPS antenna, so we went over that earlier, but kind of cool. Everything plugs in there. So with that all defined, let's go ahead and go into the quick start guide and get things communicating. So we're in the Notecard quick start here. They've got a little video tutorial, but we'll be kind of going through that manually. You can go through that if you want. The first part kind of outlines some concepts. So Notecard, note carriers, note hub. That's kind of what we went over earlier. Communications, etc. So it's a little bit of a summary of what we did earlier, and then talks about hooking things up, plug it in as we did earlier. That's easy enough, but again, we've already done that. Now, one thing I am going to do though, just to keep it consistent, I'm going to take out the Swan board. So take that out there. We won't need that for right now. Not going to need the programmer either. Might need that a little later. What you will need is a USB cable to the Notecarrier's USB port to your computer's USB port. So plug that in here, micro USB. So plug it in, and yep, booting up there. The next step is to connect to your note card. So with your note card connected, your next step is to communicate with the note card over USB. So this is pretty awesome. Actually, to do so, first locate the panel in the right side of your browser window, which we call the in-browser terminal. And that is literally on the right side of your thing. So if we just click on USB note card, it's yeah, right there, pops right up. So we'll connect to that, easy enough. And yeah, looks good. Sync needed, modem now on. Okay, good. So permission to use a serial device, yes. And I'm on a Macintosh, by the way. And with that up, you're ready to send your first JSON request to the note card. Our requests are responsive to from the note card and are in JSON format. Cool thing is, if you want to try it, you just click this try it button and it pops up there. Press enter. You're actually popping out the card version. So it's very easy. You can also copy and yep, request it, and it gives you the information on your card. So that's pretty cool the way they have it. Now let's just see if that works. Clear. Ah, that works. Okay, good. So from here we can go into NoteHub. So click on that, and yeah, you need to sign up for an account if you haven't yet. But yeah, so there's some links to that and everything. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and NoteHub, create project. So my project, let's see, project name, we'll say JS Cook May 14. So it's 14th. Okay. And then create project. So done that. Now the important thing is you give your projects a name and a project UID, which I guess is the user ID. I'm not quite sure. So we'll go ahead and try it. Put in your UID here. So let's see, copy that, copy the ID. So we'll paste this in here, paste, and should do something. Okay, so it's empty brackets. So that means, I think that means it's successful. So you can do a sync between the note card and NoteHub with note sync requests. So we'll go ahead and try that. We'll copy that onto there, press enter. Successful NoteHub sync 3 seconds ago. That means it is successful. So that's good. Now the exciting thing, you can queue notes to your note card. So in this case, you can copy this, or sorry, try it. That'll actually just copy it into the terminal. Press that, and it'll queue a note for your note card, and then you can actually send the notes because it doesn't just do it automatically all the time, I believe. So try that, hub sync, and that's done its thing. Now with that done, it'll actually have sent some stuff to the Note Hub. So if you go into events, and yep, okay, good. So it, we scroll over here, it is synced humidity 56.23 and temp 35.5. That's the data we sent it here, 35.5 for the temp, humidity 56.23. Basically, that format can be sent with anything. So if you have something on your microcontroller, it sends data there and sends it to the cloud with that. This is just kind of dummy data for now. But one cool thing is you can actually, let's see, if we go to try it, and let's just say change this around. So we'll change the JSON data to say cookies. Cookies equals, let's see, 30. We'll say eat now, and we'll say we'll just say yes, why not? So I think this will work. I don't know for sure. Okay, all right, so we'll go ahead and try it. Gotta do the sync, and okay, should have synced, so we should see the node due data here. Okay, so cookies equals cookies 30, eat now. Yes, so, you know, you probably shouldn't eat 30 cookies, but yeah, so it's just sending notes from the note card to NoteHub. And from there, you can route it to whatever service you want. You know, just kind of arbitrary data, which is awesome. You can view notes on your NoteHub, so we have been doing that. And you can also send notes from NoteHub to your note card. So it's bi-directional if you want to use that. So, you know, now we're communicating via cellular, and yeah, it's doing its thing. Even though we're connected via USB, in theory, you could put this out in the field somewhere and it would do its thing. Of course, that's pretty neat, but for the next step, we'll go ahead and add on the Swan and have it do something even more interesting. So what I want to do is blink the Swan board by itself, so it can act act independently as its own dev board if you want to. Although I don't know why you'd use it that way, but it can be used that way. So what we'll do is boot up VS Code, Platform.io, click on that, and let's see, we'll go into initializing, create new project. We'll say new project, and project name will say Swan May 15th 1. We'll say select board, you can say Swan and Blues Swan R5. Probably Blues Wireless Swan R5 would work too, but I think they just go by Blues now. So go by that. Arduino is the framework. I guess you can, yeah, definitely want Arduino. Default location, I guess we'll leave it at that and finish that. And from there, what we're doing, we're actually going through one of the quick starts, the links up there, devblues.io/quickstart/swan quickstart. So it's actually going through the Swan board. So if you don't have Visual Studio Code and or Platform IO IDE extension, you'll need to load that, but we've already done that. I believe you can also do it in Arduino, but that's not how we're going to do it here. All right, so the first thing we can do is replace the platform.ini file with this. So we'll copy that, and let's see, go into platform ini, got that here, so that, Control Command V. And you know, one thing we'll note is that it says upload protocol ST-Link. So that means we're using the ST-Link programmer. That's the Mini E, but I think the Mini also works. So got that, that's what we'll be using. So you can do it without the ST-Link Mini, but I'm not gonna do it that way. But I'll go ahead and program it that way. So we plug it in with this, plug it into USB-C, and then we'll plug in the cable to this as shown. Uh-oh. That's not good. All right, so it took a second to reboot my lighting. And from there, you should just be able to press the upload button on VS Code, this little thing down here. Upload that, and it did it. Took 31.85 seconds, but it did do its thing. It's not doing anything now because that didn't really have anything interesting on it, but we can blink the onboard LED with this code here. So if you copy this in here, and if you put this into the, let's see, source, main, select all, and then we'll paste that in there. So what we've got here is a write the built-in high, delay 1000, write built-in low, delay 1000. And if you program in the Arduino IDE, this should be very familiar to you. One thing you can do, if you go to F1, you can upload it here or build it. Now if you upload it, I think it'll just build it and put it on there, but we'll just go ahead and build it because I think that's what the instructions say to do first. So build, okay, so it's doing its thing. Success, okay, very good. And from there, we'll just go to upload here, even though we could do it in the thing. Or actually, let's go ahead and do it in the thing, platform.io upload it. And if all is going well, it should be blinking the onboard LED. Yeah, you can see it. There it is, blinking the onboard LED. So that's awesome. Now, of course, what we use this with is the Notecarrier and the note card. You know, to do different things on that. So what we can do with this is we'll unplug it and plug it in. We plug it into the note card. Let's see. All right, so it's not doing anything because it's not plugged in, but we can actually plug it in through the note card here, or note carrier, and it's blinking, and that's blinking, and ultimately you can get signals from the Swan through the note carrier to the note card and onto the note hub in the cloud and wherever else you want it. So one thing that's kind of cool is it's the micro USB cable here. It does, through the note carrier, it does power the Swan, and I think vice versa works as well, but that's a good way to do it. So yeah, that's how you blink the Swan, pretty easy. The instructions have some instructions about using the serial monitor and even debugging with this little ST-Link Mini, V3 Mini, or Mini E as we're using here. That is possible apparently. Next thing to do is actually get our data from the Swan to the note card to the cloud. So for this last tutorial, Blues has something on collecting sensor data, and I'm not going to go through all the copy-paste stuff because it's pretty much exactly the same thing. They've got a little video on it here, which is nice. But first of all, it has something about setting up the hardware. We've already done that. I've got my ST programmer plugged in here. Also got a USB cable here to monitor the Swan, and then another one for the to provide power to Notecarrier F. I'm not sure if you need both these, but you definitely need a USB cable for this if you want to do serial monitoring. Shows you how to hook everything up, create a Notehub project. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Just log on to Notecard.io and create your new account. So let's see. I'll go into that. That's mine. Got mine. Blues May 15th is what I'm calling it. Yeah, so I've got that there. If you go into this, what's important about it is you've got under settings, you have your UID, product UID, which is what kind of identifies everything from the Note Hub to the, basically allows it to pipe data to the correct place. So that's easy enough to do. You just sign up for that and you'll get it. The product UID must be globally unique, so we recommend a namespace name like com.yourcompany.yourname, your product, or whatever. I mean, I just pretty much use what I put in there. Take note of the UID, product UID. You can copy it there, so that's easy enough. Yeah, but we've kind of gone over most of this, I think. Also kind of gone over how to write your firmware. So go into Project Wizard, create your project. So weather monitor. Mine's a little bit different. Let's see, VS Studio code. Mine, I'm calling this Blues May 16th. So I've got a different number on my project than this, but that's okay. Basically you go into that, name it. You put your board Blues Wireless Swan R5. I think mine just says Blues Swan R5 because they're called Blues now. Open up your project's platform.io file and replace its contents with the default Swan configuration below. I've already done that in, let's see, platform.io. You can see what I've copied and pasted in here. But one thing that I did that I was having trouble with was I actually put in the monitor port, which is /dev/tty/USB modem. It just wasn't coming up correctly before. And let's see, a terminal, if you need to know how to do that, so you go, let's see, ls-dev/tty. It's kind of weirdly arranged, but it's this USB modem, 205, yada, yada, yada. Basically, I plugged it in, unplugged it. So if you unplug it, it'll stop doing that. So let's just see, won't show up. Yeah, and if you plug it back in again, it should show up again. So if you have some problems with the terminal, make sure you're connecting to the right thing, and you may need to specify the actual port in this for it to come up automatically. At least I did. From there, you've got all that stuff that you need to copy into your main.cpp file. Goes through all this. You can copy paste it, copy paste, set up functions, set up the delay, and then from there you can flash your firmware. That's easy enough to do. Basically, you just hit this, although I've gone a little bit farther in it, and everything should be good if you have it set up correctly. Again, there's more details in that write-up and even a video. In the setup, there's kind of an intermediate step before you actually start reading from the sensor and stuff. So when you don't want to do that, what you can do is go to Libraries. Let's see, Note Card. So you copy that in there, Blues Wireless Note Card, and you need to actually sign up for a pseudo sensor library, add to project. So I've already done this, but what we would do is make sure you have the correct project. So this is Project Blues May 16th, and I would add it there. We'll just go ahead and add it again. Why not? Yeah, so it's congratulations. So yeah, make sure you do that. And then from there, you also need to add this other stuff. So include Notecard pseudosensor.h in your sketch. So that's, go to main.cpp, include pseudosensor.h. Got that in there. You need to copy down your namespace stuff, the Notecard pseudosensor, put that in there as well. So you need to put that in there. Namespace Blues. And you also need to add this bit on the bottom. So that'll actually take care of, place the following code in your loop function, which generates mock temperature and humidity readings, prints them to the console, and waits 15 seconds before exiting the loop. Yeah, this is the USB stuff that sends it to the console, but this below it actually sends it to the note card, thus to the cloud. You can upload this code to your Blues Swan, with just the USB serial, but I've actually uploaded this stuff with the note card on it as well. So it's already doing all that. It's sending it to the serial monitor here, as you can see, and it's also sending this to the cloud. So with that all hooked up, and with your proper product UID input into it, you can go into Devices, first of all, and just see that. Last time you've seen this is 242, which is about when I'm recording it right now. But you can also go into Events, and it gives you these sensor readings, humidity, temperature, and the humidity is just kind of made up, but the temperature is actually the temperature of the board. It's got an internal sensor for that. Now you could substitute in any sort of sensor for this, really, because it's just the Arduino IDE. You could put in any sort of sensor on this and make it make it take readings. So that's awesome. And then from there, you can pipe that to any sort of cloud service that you want to use for either visualization or anything else. Visualization, tracking, collaboration, whatever. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I just kind of went through this last part kind of quickly. You view your data in Notehub, and then from there you can send it wherever you want. You can also use environment variables to actually send data back to this, but I'm not going to go over that. There's lots of other stuff in the Blues documentation. There's also a section about send your data to the cloud, which again, I'm not going to go over that, but there's a lot more that you can do there with this, and you can get all your data working for you. So that'll be awesome. I've really enjoyed trying out the Blues Cell+WiFi starter kit. You can find this hardware at shop.blues.com, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people develop with it. Thanks so much for watching. This is Jeremy Cook for Hackster.io, signing off.